Sicilian Mafia. They began as local protection groups in Sicily way back in the mid-19th century. The government was weak and bandits were everywhere, so these clans stepped in as the unofficial neighborhood security. Today, there are about 5,500 official members split into around 100 clans, each running its own turf across provinces like Palermo and Catania. You've got to be Sicilian, male, over 16, and definitely not related to anyone in law enforcement if you want in. Their hierarchy's detailed. You've got the boss at the top, elected by the members. Then there's the underboss, usually family, and the consigliere who keeps everyone honest. The capodecina leads a smaller crew, and soldiers carry out the dirty work. There's even a provincial commission called the cupola that helps settle disputes, but it doesn't give direct orders. They run rackets, loan sharking, bid rigging, and yeah, they've got history with drug networks, especially during the Pizza Connection era. Unlike others, they avoid flashy crimes like robbery and kidnapping. What's wild is how the bosses lately have been frustrated with the new generation. Wiretaps caught them venting that recruits are lazy and learning from movies. Some even told guys to go watch The Godfather just to get it right. American Mafia. They officially came together in 1931, right after the Castellammarese War ended. That's when Lucky Luciano stepped in, tossed out the whole boss of bosses thing, and set up the commission. This council still runs today and includes the major bosses from places like New York, Chicago, and Buffalo. They don't micromanage, but they settle beefs and keep things from turning chaotic. Their structure's tight. The Don runs the show locally. The underboss is usually being groomed to take over. The consigliere keeps advice flowing. Then there's the capo, who leads a small crew of made men, while associates handle business but aren't officially inducted. Only men of Italian descent can become made members. New York's 5 families, Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese, still dominate. The Genovese are the biggest. The Gambino family had somewhere between 150 and 200 made men and up to 2,000 associates 2 decades ago. The Lucchese numbers weren't far behind. They've dabbled in everything: labor rackets, loans, illegal gambling, fraud, even waste dumping. During the 1920s, Al Capone's Chicago outfit made an estimated $100 million just from liquor. They adapted well. Some shifted to mortgage scams during the housing bubble. Others built online gambling rings. And despite the RICO Act and the massive commission trial in 1985, they're still around, just quieter, more subtle, and way more digital than before. Feel free to smash that like and subscribe button for more content like this. Anyways, Russian Mafia. They aren't one big syndicate like others. They're a loose collection of autonomous criminal groups spread across Russia and beyond. Back in 1993, there were about 5,000 of these groups, with around 100,000 members and 18,000 leaders, though only a few hundred were actually structured like a traditional gang. At the top of their cultural hierarchy is the Vory v Zakone, or thieves in law. These guys come from Soviet prison camps and live by a strict code that includes tattoo traditions and a lifelong commitment to criminal life. If someone breaks the rules, they're cast out hard. A typical setup involves a pakun, or boss, who commands brigadiers, who in turn lead small specialized cells. These cells handle everything from extortion and arms to fraud and cybercrime. It's like a mafia version of compartmentalization. 2 of the major groups are Solntsevskaya and Tambovskaya. Solntsevaskaya's got a strong presence in cities like Moscow and Kazan, while Tambovskaya dominates fuel and port sectors. Both groups are global. They've reached into the UK, the US, Europe, and even linked with triads and Italian mafias. What really makes them stand out is how embedded they are in state systems. At one point, they influenced 70% of Russia's banks and held ties to government officials. They also specialize in cybercrime and, allegedly, some dangerous weapons deals. Japanese Mafia. The word Yakuza actually comes from a losing hand in a gambling game, 8, 9, and 3, which pretty much means useless. But these guys evolved from gamblers and peddlers into rigidly structured criminal groups that operated with samurai-style rituals. Members even seal loyalty pacts by sharing sake. At the top is the Oyabun, followed by an underboss called the Wakagashira, then soldiers and sworn koban who owe full allegiance. Their numbers hit a massive peak in 1963 with over 180,000 members and associates. Fast forward to the end of 2024 and they're down to around 18,800 total. The average age now is over 54 and barely 5% are in their 20s. Youth just aren't interested anymore. Yamaguchi Gumi leads the pack with about 30% of total members, followed by Sumiyoshi Kai and Inagawa Kai. Splits over the years created rival offshoots like Kobe Yamaguchi Gumi. Internal turf fights forced public peace pledges, and membership has fallen hard. They've shifted focus from classic extortion to scam calls targeting the elderly, and even real estate and finance games. Their full-body tattoos and finger-cutting rituals remain iconic. But now, cyber gangs called Tokuryu are stealing the spotlight, using shady online jobs to pull in billions. The old-school Yakuza is fading fast. Irish mob. It all started back in the 19th century with Irish-American street gangs like the Dead Rabbits and the Wyos, especially in places like Five Points and Hell's Kitchen, New York. By the time Prohibition hit, they were running bootlegging and rackets, but as Italian-American mafias rose, Irish groups started losing ground. Still, they held on. The Winter Hill Gang dominated Boston for decades, working deals with both the Italian Mafia and the IRA. The Westies ran Hell's Kitchen in New York, with about 15 core members and up to 100 associates. Between 1968 and 1986, they were tied to 60 to 100 killings. Their alliance with the Gambino family gave them cover, but their violence was off the charts. Unlike more structured mafias, the Irish mob operated in small, neighborhood-based crews. No official boss of bosses, just tight-knit groups built on loyalty and raw aggression. They ran everything from extortion and gambling to drug trafficking, arms deals, and murder for hire. In Oklahoma alone, a 5-year investigation led to 125 convictions and exposed just how far these groups spread. In Ireland today, gangs like the Kinahan cartel and the family rake in millions monthly. Feuds like Kinahan vs. Hutch have left at least 18 people dead, and Garda crackdowns have seized cash, weapons, and over 60 million in drugs. But these crews still run strong. If you like this video, please show your support by hitting the like and subscribe button.